Gentlemen, thank you for watching ePatent and IPX English Chizai Bar. I'm Kohei Okumura, and also today, of course, master is Atsushi Nozaki. And today we have the special guest, Mr. Roberto Carapeto. So please speak about yourself in English.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to be here. It is, since this is an informal talk, let me serve myself some drink. I guess the video doesn't help much. Cheers.
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 So how do I say cheers in Portuguese?
Portuguese.
Saúde.
Saúde?
Saúde.
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 Saúde. Well, what would you want to know about myself? I'm a Brazilian attorney at law. I'm a Brazilian attorney at law that has been living in Japan for around 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mainly handle matters for Japanese companies and Asian companies in Brazil and Latin American countries. And I also teach at Waseda University right now in the LLM courses. Basically that, I guess.
That's all? Okay.
I guess.
So Okumura-san, where did you know the Roberto-san? And where and when?
When I think it's 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. We have the common Korean patent attorney friends whose name is Mr. Hong. Mr. Hong and Roberto-san are the same laboratory in Waseda University, right?
Yes, he is my junior at the PhD course in Waseda University.
And also, I used to belong to, before I found my own firm, I used to belong to a certain, name is secret, but kind of firm. And he was my co-worker. So that's why we were, Hon-san and I are very friendly, have a good friendship. So, and also he introduced Roberto-san, I think 4 years ago.
Yep, around that. 4. 4. Yeah, maybe around that. Maybe 3. I don't think it's 4, maybe 3. Because Hong-san is now...
He already back to Korea.
He is. He's still trying to finish the PhD.
I think line doesn't work.
And so Roberto, and have you already completed the PhD course at Waseda University?
Kind of.
I know.
It's
not a good question.
No, I handled my thesis in the beginning of the year, and I already did the defense, and I'm waiting for the final results. There's nothing else I can do. I already did everything.
Okay. And all thing you can do is complete.
Is wait.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. Is wait.
I know getting the PhD is really hard. So
Okumura-san has a PhD.
But actually, I have PhD, but doesn't have a relationship with IP, just information technology.
Oh, gotcha. But how long did you need to get a PhD? And totally for 3 years? Which means except for master courses.
In my case, 3 years. 3 years shortest.
Oh, yeah.
But many people has more time to get write down the PhD thesis paper.
I'm not sure how long does it take to get a PhD and not for not the science or technology areas, and which means Roberto-san's IP areas or law areas and economic areas.
I'm also interested.
Well, it is the same kind of a format. So theoretically, the least amount of time necessary is 3 years, but it's not that easy, I guess, because it depends a lot on the environment that you are. And I say that because in the same way as with a lot of science PhDs, you need to publish before you can get your PhD. And well, I guess when you're doing sciences, you are in a laboratory that is usually already doing a lot of experimentations, and you can do. And in sciences, sometimes in some fields, you have a very well built custom, a practice of having papers co-signed by a lot of people. And in political sciences, in law, in economics, you also have a lot of co-signing of big papers. But in political sciences, law, some other humanities, this is not that simple. So actually being able to publish 2 peer-reviewed articles, sometimes it takes a little bit of time.
Oh, gosh.
Not that simple.
Nozaki-san actually really interested in getting PhD, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Or in the near future, but the far future. So I'm very planning to get I'm very.
You must be very busy.
Yeah. So I need
in
to
what
stop
kind of
working.
field you would like to get the PhD?
PhD in and especially in how do I say management or technology area. MOT areas, and because my interest is to how to use or leverage IP information and towards developing the strategy, and especially new product development or new services. And so it is a kind of the management technology areas. It might be a management business administration, MBA areas.
Yeah.
So and also I'm not sure that you know the JIST. JIST, I'm not sure how they say the correct name. And JIST is the in Japanese 北陸先端科学技術大学.
Yes, I know.
and the headquarters of the university, and of course located in 北陸 is the Toyama Prefecture or the Isuka Prefecture, and but the branch is located in Shinagawa. And so it's a very easy and for me to study as Tokyo areas. Another option is the Tohoku University. Tokyo University is a very good access and from here to the Sendai areas. Yeah, but it's a my dream to get a PhD.
If you have enough time.
But how they say, and my policy is the time.
I think
we should create a time, and we should create a time.
Yeah, very important thing.
Myself, make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
So please. So today's navigator is you, Okumura-san.
Okay, we have. Yeah, okay. So I have to speak. Okay. Today we prepare some topic, and which is how to get the practical skill in the patent or IP fields. So who first?
Yeah, but so how do I say, before talking about how to get or how to teach the practical skills, and I'd like to ask you guys and how to learn languages, foreign languages, because and Okumura-san can speak English and as well as Korean, and also the Roberto can speak at least 4 or 5 languages
around that,
and English, Portuguese and Spanish, English, Japanese, and French.
Yes,
a little bit.
Incredible.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
네, 데모 저는 한글을 공부하고 싶습니다.
韓国語が勉強したいです. He said. He says he want I want to study Korean.
Oh, really? And so which and where and do you run Korea, Roberto? From his girlfriend?
No. No. It's actually a very interesting point. I'm very, very, very unpopular in Korea. I'm super unpopular in Korea because Korean women really don't like beard. They don't like facial hair.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think so, but the Korean guys likely to care the skin. So I understand what you mean.
I believe that the culture of still having to be drafted by the military, and in the military you cannot have beard. I think that plant some kind of root into the Korean society that a good man has a clean-shaven face.
Oh, it's
I'm a bad guy.
Okay, I understand. But by the way, how did you learn such a lot of foreign languages, including Japanese?
Yeah, I think, and before asking and Robert-san how to learn the languages, and I think, and the mother language is the Portuguese, and Spanish is very similar to the Portuguese.
Yeah.
And French is originally is similar because from the Latin languages. I think. But
right.
Japanese language is perfectly different from the Portuguese or the Spanish.
Isolated one.
Yeah. It's quite perfectly different and from the grammatical point of the grammatical grammar or the keywords or something like that. And so that's the first time I met Roberto-san about 10 years ago. And Roberto told me, so Roberto learned Japanese from the Japanese animation named Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm not sure the English name or the Portuguese name Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes.
And but it's not the only way to learn Japanese.
No, I mean, yeah, of course. First, I do think that, well, Portuguese and Spanish are alike, yes. But I think that, for example, Japanese and Korean are more similar than Portuguese and French.
I don't think
actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I
know Korean, but yeah, of course, for Japanese people, Korean is
Japanese people think that you, of course, you have the difference between alphabets, but grammatically speaking, Japanese and Korean are much more similar than for example, French and Portuguese.
Yeah, you mean from the grammatical point of view.
From grammatical point.
And it's how to say. And in English, I am Atsushi Nozaki, and but in Japanese, 私は野崎篤です。And in Korea is I think I cannot speak Korean, but and the order of the word. Yeah.
It's the verb, it's subject, object, verb. SOV style of, but it's not only that. Japanese and Korean both have not only the SOV style of language, but the way they use adjectives, the way they use adverbs, the formal speech. They're all very similar, and much more than Portuguese and French, for example. You have a lot of lexical borrowings where a lot of the words in Hangul, if you know the Chinese characters behind it, if you know the kanji behind that, you know the word because it's basically the same.
I understand. So actually the words composed of the Chinese character are similar, especially for example here, ego, in Korea, 영어, go or
Oh.
yeah. But this one is not similar actually. So the more similar one is a 高速道路
Yeah.
約束 something like that.
Oh.
時間 시간.
Oh. Almost
Yeah,
similar.
but the way of thinking the language is very similar. You say like, 영어, but for example, Abum. They have the same phrase. They have the same word, Abum.
Korean.
Yeonmun. It's the same way of thinking. It's very similar. Much more than Portuguese and French, for example.
I think Portuguese and French are also I'm not sure, but there are some similar vocabulary.
Yeah. Well, because they're both Romance languages, yes, but I don't think it's as similar as Japanese and Korean. Japanese, Portuguese, and Spanish, yeah, maybe a little bit more similar than Japanese and Korean. But even so, not that much. But it helps that they're both written in alphabet, so of course that is also a plus. But I don't know. Answering to your question, I think that
how to learn a Japanese.
I actually have my way of doing things. I am a person who, maybe because I'm a lawyer, and I also studied computer science, so structure is important for me. So when I'm learning a new language, I try to learn the basic patterns of that of the grammar of that language, because if you know, and then then there are a lot of tricks. So for example, when I started studying Japanese, it was basically getting used to something wa object this, or something wa object verb, and this I pushed into my mind to the level that I didn't need to think, and then you just
I
talk
think
to people.
The line condition is not so good.
Line condition?
Line condition is bad. Only me?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm listening I'm listening to Nozaki.
Sorry, I couldn't catch what you say.
Yeah. But and Robert said how to say structure is very important, and so at first is and he learn structure, and it's like SVO something like that, and watashi wa something wa honyarara desu, and biru wa nomimono desu. I think, and it's a one format, and the Japanese format, and but how to say it's a very important point, and how to get practical skills, and it's a very similar, and not only the getting language skills, but also the practical skills. It's at first we should learn basic pattern or the structure. After that, after learning that, and we should brush up the pattern and learn irregular pattern.
Got it. So, Nozaki-san also now work as a facilitator of the Chizai-juku, but actually different contents. But actually, I'm complete beginner of the patent search. So, Nozaki-san, I expected that I can learn the basic pattern of the patent search, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that learning the basic pattern is really important too.
Yeah, exactly. It's same as the what Robert pointed out, and it's very important to get or learn a basic pattern, and it's how to say basic pattern was a template or a format, and I think how to say, and every type works or every type of jobs has a basic pattern. And it depends on the job or tasks. But for example, the claim drafting, advanced searching, and litigations, licensing, and drafting, and there's different tasks, different jobs, and but there are some type of the basic pattern.
Yeah.
So, and for beginners, and they should run on a basic pattern. And as you pointed out, so, and in a pattern searching, and 10 or 15 years or 20 years ago, there are no pattern. So one person has one pattern, and another person has another pattern. So
really personalized.
It's a kind of personalized, or it's a, how do I say, know-how.
Know-how.
And connected with a specific person. And recently including me and some person and provided some templates and for every person who would like to run pattern search or analysis. And this I will provide the same basic pattern with you and other audiences and in a Chizai Juku. And so Chizai Juku is the another learning school or
school.
seminar and provided by the IPTech patent law firm. So so I will be a facilitator or teacher and for patent searching and seminar, and also the Okumura-san already had taught patent draft, claim drafting.
Specification drafting. Claim drafting or specification drafting, but already finished. And actually, I also taught the basic pattern. Of course, there are a lot of patterns, so only the patterns I taught was not enough actually, but I think that learning this kind of the basic pattern is really important, so that's why I taught.
And also, I think, please, Robert, go ahead.
No, it is very interesting what you just said. When you're thinking about trying to develop a practice in law, we actually have this word that we use it a lot. It's a practice. And in order for a practice to exist, it needs to have uniformity. And so you need to have a pattern. You need to have a common grounds that are shared from at least within one specific group. And then in academically speaking, when you want to try to develop a course that is widely available to a lot of people, in order for something to be considered science, it needs to have a defined set of rules that can be learned and can be reproducible. So, and to be able to reproduce something, you need to have a standard or a pattern. And I think it's very, I mean, we know each other for a long, long time. I do agree. I think that for the foreseeable future, where information becomes more and more relevant, in the architecture of the management of information, the ability to have a more stable practice of patentable information or mapping and searching of patentable information is a very important thing. And therefore creating a standards, it's a very important thing for this area.
Okay.
And I think that in this sense, the books that you have been publishing throughout the years, they are a very important and reliable, let's say, ground for a lot of standards to be developed.
Yeah. So how do I say? I'm not sure as Robert said, common ground, and I think, and the last 20 years or 30 years, or 10 years, and especially in IP field, and many and people try to develop the common ground or the basic templates. And but before the 2000 was how do I say? It's a not so many templates. It's just how do I say? Get the skills or the technique from the doing the many tasks or many practice. And but now is there are many documents or the YouTube how do I say animation or the movies, and it's very easy for us to get how do I say basic level and from zero.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
think
and,
so.
Yeah,
I agree. So it's
please go ahead.
Sorry. I think it's not only IP fields, but also any kind of fields. Due to the development of the internet, we can get more information easily. So before, even like easy, small information is under the secret. So it's hard to get the templates but recently, so we can get the information easier than the before. So that's why the template basic one appears recently. I think so.
So, and I like you and share with you guys the very interesting story. And but wait a moment, because I cannot know the okay and English word. So, and the Mr. Habu and very master of the shogi.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so and I read and books are written by the Habu and Mr. Habu. And so he said, and now is a very good and period and for young guys and to be a good shogi player. And because when Habu-san was young, there are no internet, so it was very difficult for him to get a game record. Game record is the history of the shogi. And from the 200 years or 300 years from the Edo period. But it's very difficult for him to get, and when he was child or young. But now it's very easy to get a game record and from the internet. So, and it is, how do I say, there are hurdle to get the, how to say, and very template or basic templates. And hurdle of the obstacle to get a template is very lower and compared than before. So so he said very good metaphor. And for younger guys, now there are highways to get a basic level. So and it's a very good period for us, and we are prepared, and highway were prepared for us. And if we'd like to run some skills or some techniques or something like that.
Yeah. I understand. So I think it's correct. And also, I also like not actually shogi, but I like mahjong. I recently started to watch the YouTube one mahjong player, and he used to be a mahjong player, but he already quit. But he said that before, mahjong is like a personalized game, but recently the how to win or how to think structurally or efficiently is I think this kind of how to think efficiently is becoming popular. Before, mahjong is just a luck or nagare or something like that, but recently this playing style is more efficient. Like so the young people don't play mahjong, but But young people who even like Mahjong, they're likely to learn the, how can I say, so not analog or not difficult, but digital thinking. So yeah, I think it's not only shogi, but also any kind of the games or fields. So we can get good structure in internet. So to learn new things is easier than before.
Yeah, and today's session is more sophisticated than first session and 1 month ago. And because Roberto joined.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but it's quite interesting. This topic is a very interesting one, and it brings actually a lot of interesting other philosophical points. I do agree that there is a lot of information that becomes more available just because of an access. I don't think it's necessarily a problem of amount of information, but mainly about access to information. Because the more interesting point right now is that since information becomes more accessible, the value of information also grows. So the ability actually to be able to go and use information that is available on a better level, this starts to have big commercial value. And therefore, for basic information, yes, access is better, but for the top sophisticated information, maybe it is difficult in part because there will be economical restraints and sometimes even social restraints if you're not a member of an association, if you're not friends of inside a group. It is, you cannot have access to that information. So it's but it's quite interesting, this point about what Okumura-san was talking, is that the most interesting part is how data influences how we see things, as he was saying, because, for example, for some sports where, or for some activities where traditionally rationality was higher, the access is maybe like shogi. It's a highway. Chess, the same. The kind of ability that new chess players can have to learn new patterns, this is much better. Shogi, the same. But for example, you have the example of Mahjong, where people would maybe have ideas as luck, but actually there are ways of mathematically thinking. And if you're able to crack down a large amount of play data, you start to see patterns that maybe only very few of the very few would realize. It's the same with poker, for example. I like poker, and yeah, 20, 30 years ago, some top players would know the basics, like some small details. But now, there's a whole bunch of strategies on depending on where you're sitting at the table, how you should raise or how you should not raise. And even in like traditional sports, for example, there's the very famous movie with Brad Pitt, Moneyball, where in baseball they started to analyze that you had stats like amount of homes that were stolen and etc. that could be used to get players and differently. And for example, in soccer, which the part that I am, I guess that I like the most, the current winner of the Champions League in Europe Liverpool FC, they actually got quite some recognition on realizing that they should hire a specific coach for throw-ins. Throw-ins is a very, small part of the game, but it happens 20, 30 times during the 90 minutes, and they realize that, gaining a better advantage of successful throw-ins could result to better beginning of plays that could lead to a goal. And they actually hired this guy to study throw-ins, which was very unique. But it generated results. Then it's a very interesting thing how being able to have access to information allow us to analyze information in ways that we didn't before, because we were not paying attention to that. It was not like that ready in our faces.
Yeah, I think we should define which areas skills were and technique skills and should be talked or discussed, and because the practical skill, and so I planning to talk about the practical skill, especially in the IP field, and patent frame drafting was patent searching, something like that, and but the sports was gaming, and so it's how they say, and of course there are some basic skills in each areas, and but the lack or the as a factor is it depends on the areas. So
sure. But can I then follow up? We shouldn't mention names of services providers, right? Anyway, there is, for example, a very famous worldwide database of decisions on IP-related litigation. Famous worldwide database. I will avoid disclosing the name. And this is a specific database. And some other databases, they have tools that tries to tell you what are the chances of success on getting one specific kind of decision. You can go and say, no, I want to know the chances of overcoming problem with inventive step in the field of opticals in JPO. And if you go there, you click and they'll say, oh, it's 40%. And this is very useful. In the past, you would need to have done a lot of cases before the JPO to kind of know that it is 40% chance of success. And that, and I have a phrase about data crunching that I quite like a lot. Those kinds of statistical, and this is related a little bit with what we were talking now about games and mahjong and etc., is that a lot of times data is like a bikini. This kind of data analytics, it's like a bikini. It shows you a lot, but not the most interesting part.
I perfectly agree with you. Because I'm in charge of the patent analytics and the data analytics, and but I'm perfectly with you, Robert. Exactly.
So of course, knowing that not having to have 20 years of a career to know that the chance of success is maybe 40%. This is very good. Still don't teach you how to get the success.
Exactly.
For this, you need to know the basics. You need to have practiced the basics. You needed to know well how the basic works. Because otherwise, that will be just information. You will not be able to use it.
Yeah, that's how they say, and it's a very good example. But how they say, and yeah, so example is a database. For example, database is it's a kind of the technology development, and will is helping us and for better decision and better making decision. And but the important point is data is data and information is information, and it's a kind of the clue to make a better decision. And the data doesn't decide the decision. And we should, and human being should make a decision. And the data or artificial intelligence does not forecast the future. And so we should create a future, or we should and make a decision based on the data or the information, and as well as the past experiences or something like that. I see.
I completely agree.
Pause.
I completely agree, and I think that's actually quite interesting, because I still think that there are a lot of people who ends up putting a little bit of way too much emphasis on what those kinds of statistics give you. The point is that statistics are not forever. They can change because society changes, rules changes, law changes, judges changes, examiners changes. This is a very complicated issue, but we should try to do what we think it is the best way. It's the best route to get the results that we are looking for.
Yeah. And what we are talking is a very important point, and but how they say, and today's topic is how to learn or the skills, and but skills should be divided based on a level, beginner's level or the middle, junior, junior level, associate level, and superior or the upper level, and so what we are talking right now is the upper level, and after learning the basic skill. And
Okay.
if for example people just after graduating the university and 22 years ago, 24 years old, and they should focus on getting a basic skill and based on statistical data or the information, and because the data is a data and it is a evidence, and if the data is correct, of course. So and as Homer said, is a very good point, but it's a how do I say very it's a kind of the how do I say very more upper level skill. So skills.
I understand what you mean. So I think that getting the upper level skill is to face the irregular cases. I mean number of the irregular cases. So even if I met the irregular cases, I have to think or consult with another person, or of course there's I have a partner, so consult with the partner. Or so if we experience this kind of irregular cases, our skills naturally increase. Yes. I think it's only way to increase. It's very difficult to learn these kind of the upper levels, to get this kind of the upper level skill with just theory, or not only theory, but I think I have to experience really.
Yeah. So, and my favorite books written by the David Meister's book. You know, the David Meister is the consultant of the consultant. And his books, and I'm sorry, it's a Japanese name, and the professional service firms. I forgot the name of the books, but so written by the David Meister, and so his book is focusing on how to management the professional service firm, and the professional service firm including the patent law firm, the law firm, and the patent searching firm or the RS firm, consulting firm, something like that. And so he divided the three types of tasks, types of the jobs. It's a first level is the efficient type. It's a very similar type of the jobs and the bunch of the volume. So and the employees or staff should do that type of the work efficiently. And the second type is the experience-based tasks. And so staffs can handle that cases based on the past experiences. And more superior level is gray hair tasks. The gray hair is they should create a new solution. And based on experiences and also the learn from the other areas, knowledge was information was something like that. So and it's a kind of as Okumura-san said, and so towards the upper and higher level, and he will see faces and many irregular tasks or jobs, and it's a kind of the sometimes the gray hair types and sometimes the experience basis and a mixture of the both of types, I think.
Got it.
I forgot the name of the
Sometimes Japanese.
Sometimes Japanese, yeah.
Uttered.
Last time I didn't say any Japanese words today.
Exactly. And this time it's hard. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a very useful tip for someone who tries to sound better in the language. Is learning and get used to know the fillers in the language. So getting used to, instead of saying or like nandake, when you're speaking in English, try to change that to what was that?
Yeah, that's it. So and so it's a very very useful word for our useful phrase for me is how can I say?
Well,
it's a very useful word, and when I worked at a fast company, Rand IP.
Your supervisor was American guys, right? So
exactly.
You had a lot of experience or chance to use English.
Yeah. When I joined Rand IP 2012, and I could not speak English at all.
I think it's a kind of exaggeration. I think.
No.
You know some phrases or.
Yeah. Please ask my former boss.
Really?
Yeah. I will introduce Brad, my former boss, Brad. I introduce Brad to you.
Roberto-san, when did you will you be able to speak Japanese like now?
When?
How long does it take, or how long did it take to get such current level?
That's a very difficult question for me to answer because when you get to the advanced level, the small enhancements that you can bring to your level, they are very difficult to perceive. So I guess I don't know, when I actually met Nozaki-san for the first time, I speak Japanese as well as I do today. I think it was around my master's degree. So probably between 2013, 14, I felt I actually reached like an advanced level, almost fluent level of Japanese. But then, like it's an ever developing skill. I mean, you can never be perfect at a language. Japanese people are not perfect at languages. So and
from my side,
complicated.
I can say and how about the Japanese is the and when I met him and the first time about 10 years ago, and it's the same as polite is a same polite, very polite. And I'm not sure how they say and how improvement level and from the 10 years ago that now, but I'm not sure. And in addition, I can say and his song of the Yu Yu Hakusho is a very nice. It's a nice. I was very amazing.
You went to karaoke?
Yeah. So we and working and with the NGP Corporation, and he joined a guest researcher, I think, and so and we, as you know, and Okumura-san and I are very karaoke is
I really love it.
and when I hoped to join the NGP the team, and we went to the karaoke and near the Shinba station, I think I remember. So Homer to take the mics and input the Yu Yu Hakusho song. So we are very surprised. Oh, and who input these songs? Hi. Wow.
Hohoemi no Bakudan? Which one?
Which one?
I don't think it was Hohoemi.
No, not a Hohoemi. And it's the first part and very early the intro song was.
No, I think it was the first ending.
Yeah.
First ending.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So it's how to say very. I think if Okumura-san and go to the Korea and you input the Korean song. And but so everyone and in Korea and Korean colleagues doesn't know you can sing a Korean song. But so you can sing very well. So everyone was surprised. Everyone must be surprised.
Yeah, it's same. Actually, when I was in Korea, I experienced the same things. So go to karaoke and input the Korean songs, and who inputted? Me.
So I have very funny story about for karaoke and in Washington D.C. And when I worked at the Rano IP, and so I went to the karaoke near the D.C. areas, and with my colleagues and the U.S. guys and the Chinese guy, and we Japanese, U.S., Chinese, and we input and our country song. So, and we can, and Chinese guy and I can know the English song, and but I cannot understand Chinese song. So Chinese guy don't so Japanese song. Yeah, it's a very funny.
The American guys only know English.
I think so. But now and he got married with a Japanese woman.
Oh.
So and I'm not sure that he's learning the Japanese or not, but yeah, I think right now he can understand the Japanese a little bit. I think
some phrases.
I hope and he doesn't see this live distribution. Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to go to karaoke again.
Yeah.
I think they're still closed.
I think so. Yeah, and but how do I say? And it's a funny story. And in the Simbasi areas, and the karaoke store is closed. And but night karaoke another karaoke type of the store is open. Make sense?
Crazy word.
I'm not sure. And also the how to say? And right now is it so? Before since 2 weeks ago, and I go to the offices twice or 3 times a week, and sometimes working at the office late time, and during the coming back to the home, I met many how do I say in English and 呼び子 呼び込みの
person who invites
person who invites so and no guest, many invited people. So it's how do I say right now is I think a very tough period, and we should how do I say 我慢する stand no stand not stand
enjoy
stand.
No, not enjoy.
endure 我慢する endure
endure ね
Be
endure でも
patient.
impatient な
Be
そう
patient.
be patient ね
Be patient.
Exercise self-control.
Yeah, it's a very important. Yeah. So I think we didn't tell Robert and the reason why and Okumura-san and I started this program, English Chizai Bar, and it's a very good for us to speak English.
We don't have much chance
English
to use English.
I'm not sure that my English level is decreasing and very, very dramatically down.
Oh my gosh. I think today's really nice chance, and also we can invite a good guest.
So and we just decided that Robert-san is regular.
Regular. So next time also join it.
Well, language is a living thing. So if you don't use it, it dies. So
Exactly.
I think so.
You cannot let it die.
Is it possible to keep your another foreign languages like French or Spanish?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it very? I think it's super hard.
It is. 10 years ago, when I arrived in Japan, my French was much better than my Spanish. But now, because I'm doing a lot of work with Latin America, and I have been writing about Latin American countries as well, and now my Spanish is better than my French. So yeah, I mean, it becomes difficult. But I think 2 years ago I went to Paris, and then after 3 days there, I kind of.
And so, by the way,
the rhythm.
Which language is the most comfortable to use right now? Portuguese?
What about besides Portuguese?
Of course, Portuguese.
Portuguese is native, so.
I imagine the Japanese most comfortable.
What about?
That's a good question, actually. I would say that for speaking now, Japanese and English has not much difference. I don't care. They both go fluent in the same level. Writing, I think I still prefer to write in English. But that's mainly because of speed. No, I don't know. Writing, I don't know. This is difficult. Reading, definitely, I prefer to read in English.
How about reading the Japanese? I think reading the Japanese documents, especially law documents, is a very many kanji, Chinese character. And it's, I think, and sometimes a difficult Chinese character.
Yes.
So it's how they say, not so comfortable.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
So,
not fun.
Not fun. Not fun at all. not fun at all.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
Okumura-san
it's
is
the
the
same in
same.
English.
Not so fun.
It's the same in English. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Reading like a federal court of appeal decision, sometimes it's not easy. It's difficult as well. But I think for reading, I prefer it in English. If I can read in English, I would prefer. Writing, yeah, writing as well, but the difference is not that big. But speaking, basically, I don't care.
I think
either is fine.
I think based on what Hobero-san said, I'd like to raise the next time the topics and Japanese patent documents is a very difficult for not only the foreign people but also Japanese people to read.
Yes,
it's not Japanese, but it's not Japanese. So from my side, it's a search or analysis side, and I read many documents and the English documents or Japanese documents, and sometimes Japanese documents translated from the English. So, and it's easy for me to read not Japanese document, but the original English documents. So, and perfectly, how do I say? It's doesn't make sense in the Japanese.
Yeah. Actually, I think so. So, the Japanese word sentences in patent field is completely different from the ordinary Japanese sentences. But I think English cases, of course, a little there are some differences, but compared to Japanese, more close, I think.
So I think how about the French patents or the Portuguese, Brazil patents or the Portuguese patents, and it's similar to the English patent, U.S. patents. I mean, how they say Japanese patent documents, as Okumura-san said, it's not slightly difficult.
I think in English as well, though, but in Portuguese, I think in Portuguese is the same. The problem is that part of the way you write things, it's quite unnatural. But I think it's unnatural in English as well. If you get a normal native speaker and ask him to read the claims of one specific patent, they will not be able to understand it. It's a very kind of technical drafting, and that's actually, philosophically speaking, a complicated thing for the patent system. But I mean, I think that it's unavoidable because the patent applicants want to try to get the largest scope as possible, so people will do word magic. And it's the same in Portuguese and the same in French as well. I think the French are actually might be the most relevant, the most like normal from the ones I'm used to read. But yeah, no, in Portuguese, but because in Brazil we don't have that many domestic applicants, so it's around 7,000, 8,000 domestic patent applications. So on those applications, yes, I think that the language sounds somewhat more natural. But because most of the patents in Brazil are from foreign companies, it's basically a translation of the EP or the US patent. So it ends up becoming like this. And I think, but Japanese is a very difficult language for very technical writings because you have weird grammar patterns that you can use in Japanese that are not available in other languages. One of the things that always makes me mad is that in Japanese you can actually have double negative. So there are especially old court decisions in Japan that will have like a huge phrase in double negative.
Double
it
negative
annoys me so much. It's like something shinai, something shinai, something shinai. そんなことではない。
何々しないわけではない。
そうそう。So it's actually all する。But no, you're right in the double negative.
So
And it's a long phrase.
And we also say the conclusion at last. So 何々しないわけじゃない。Oh my gosh!
So yeah, it's all する。Just do a straight. Yeah. So that you have that difficulty in Japanese specifically. There are...
I understand.
So, Okumura-san, we should take this topic from the next time.
Okay. So it's already 11 p.m. You already passed 11 p.m. So we are closing this session. Thank you for watching. I'm not sure.
Watching
this channel. So we're gonna try open next. I'm not sure when, but
maybe the next month.
Yeah, we'd like to keep this session to keep our English
once a month.
Once a month. And Roberto-san becomes the regular or pre-regular.
No guarantee. No guarantee.
So anyway, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
See you next time. Bye bye.